You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Tuesday the 4th of March 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And it's quite early for me to be recording this. I didn't anticipate that I would have anything significant to say at 1:30, which is the time I'm recording this, so it should be up certainly before 2 o'clock, probably about 1:45. Anyway, so what have I done today? Well, I got up, I don't know, about 10 to 8, I think. Made myself some breakfast, had a cup of coffee, and then got a reminder by text and email that I'd booked a hair appointment to get my hair done at 10:30. So I drove into town, stupid me, basically yesterday when the washing machine was done. I tried to be helpful and take the old washing machine out before the installers of the new one got here, which I did, but I hurt my back a little bit doing it. Now, not terrible, it'll be all right in a couple of days, but I've just kind of overreached myself a little bit, so that was a bit silly. So normally when I go in for a haircut, I walk into town, but I decided today, with my back being sore, I want to be okay for work tomorrow, so I didn't, basically. I drove. I got there a little bit early and went into a couple of charity shops, and found a couple of Blu-rays, stuff that I quite like but don't have, that was worth like the £1.50 or £2 they were charging for them. So, for example, I bought the Alan Partridge movie, Alan Partridge Alpha Papa, which I quite like, but I've never actually bought, and I bought it today on Blu-ray for a couple of quid, so that was nice. After that, I had my hair cut, and then decided that I wouldn't go home yet, and because I was in a parking spot where there was unlimited time. So I walked to my favourite coffee shop, got out my iPad and started writing. Now, one of the things I didn't realise until I'd started writing was that the document I'd opened had not, because the iPad wasn't connected to the internet, had not refreshed. So the very last scene that I had written yesterday wasn't on it. And I started writing and thought, oh no, that scene's not there. I suddenly realised the word count was a few hundred words less than it should be. So I looked at it and thought, oh no, and then checked on my phone and discovered that my phone also had updated to the version of the document without that scene on it, which is very annoying because it was a lovely little scene and I really liked what I wrote, and I knew I would not enjoy having to write it again, because if you know something is good and you're pleased with it, then having to, with no reference point, just your memory, having to recreate that moment is not an easy thing to do, and you'll never be quite as happy with the second version. But I checked on my phone, and because I'd connected the bloody iPad to the Wi-Fi in the cafe, the version on my phone had updated to the version without that scene as well, so I was worried that I might have lost it. But I also knew that the version on my laptop at home had the old scene on it. So once I'd finished writing, and I wrote a couple of scenes, I went home, I put my phone in flight safe mode so it wasn't connected to the internet. I did the same with my iPad, and before I opened my laptop, I unplugged my router so it couldn't update, and there, thankfully, on my laptop was the version of the file. It didn't have the stuff I'd just written on it, but it had the scene that I had managed to accidentally delete. So I copied and pasted it into a different document, and then when everything synced up, I was able to copy and paste it back into the chapter I'd written. So yeah, thankfully nothing was missing. And then I realised I was literally two relatively short scenes away from finishing the chapter. So I did. And at exactly 13:27 today, I wrote the last sentence of Empress of the Trees. Wow, that's a bit of a moment. Okay, so this chapter isn't technically finished yet because I'm on a write edit model, so it does need an edit sweep. But it's coming at just under 8,000 words. It covers every point that I need it to. It gives you proper endings and proper resolutions for all of the main characters. Some of them nice, some of them a little bit sad. There's nothing horrid horrid happens to anybody in the... Well, yeah, I mean, Ronnie finds her parents' bodies, but we already knew they were dead, and she already knew they were dead. She just didn't ever expect, I think I might have said this before, she didn't ever expect to find out how and where they were when it happened. So it's reaffirmed the strength of the friendships between some of the characters. It's said goodbye to another character. So yes, it provides last moments for everybody. And there was a little bit... There's a couple of characters... Because I know what I wanted the last scene to be, and it's literally my main character by herself, I wasn't able to write a significant goodbye moment for a couple of the other characters. So Mackenzie and Marianne get their significant goodbye moments, and Ronnie does, but the other two, the other main characters, certainly that survived, which is basically Mr. Carruthers. Oh, Ursula gets her final moment. Mr. Carruthers and Danny, and I might have given something away there. Sorry, Laura rather, not Danny. They get their last moments, but they're not a proper goodbye. But yeah, so it's done. So I'm immensely pleased with that. Tomorrow I won't be doing any writing because, as I think I said yesterday, I'm working a very, very long day. I might try and get some editing done when I'm down route in Houston, though. I will let you know. Tomorrow's podcast is a pre-record. I've already done it. You will get to hear the song that I wrote. Well, you'll get to hear the version of the song I wrote, or the music that I wrote for Tani, but with my lyrics in it. So there we go. That's already uploaded and on a timer, and that's me done. I will be back hopefully on, what day are we now? Hopefully on Thursday, to tell you that I have done a little bit of editing on the final chapter of Empress. Thank you for listening. Take care. See you tomorrow and the day after. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.